Hello friends, welcome to a new video series. In this video series, we are going to see about Android application development from scratch. So first of all, we are going to see what is Android and how it works, and then we slowly move into Android application development coding part. In coding part, we will start with the basic components like text view, edit text, and some other important components which are the integral part of our application development. From there, we'll move to how to use that components in our application, like how to get data from that edit text or text view, and how to handle if we click a button, how to handle that click event. From there, we'll move to intermediate concepts like how to consume the data and how to process the data, how to receive and broadcast receiver like services, everything. From there, we'll move into advanced concepts like fetching data from database or using the Android's internal room DB or SQLite databases, and how to make an API call from external API endpoint or external DB, and how to make connectivity. All those important topics will be covered as a later part of this series. So Android is an amazing thing which we saw. Since it's an open source, we can do whatever we want. So we'll see what is open source and how it gonna benefit from user perspective and developer perspective. So latest version that Android released is Android 12. So in case you're using latest smartphone, most probably you're using this Android 12, or in case if it's a little older model, maybe it's an Android 11. So at the time of this video, latest version released by Android is Android 12. So first of all, before going to that video of component based tools, we'll see how Android works and what is some history and how it works internally in Android. So first of all, Android is an operating system. So we basically know it's an operating system like other OS like Linux or Windows or Mac OS, whatever it may be. So it's an operating system, but it's based on Linux. So they have modified from Linux. So Linux is a base OS. From there, they modified according to mobile. So Linux is basically for system, laptop or computer. They have modified Linux accordingly. We can use it in mobile. So what are the changes we need to make to use in mobile? Like system, maybe we'll connect with the laptop or system. There may be power usage. Mostly we'll connect every laptop or computer with a power backup, but in mobile it's not the case. So example, if you charge for 3 hours and we'll use it for entire day, in laptop it's not the case. Maximum we'll use for 2 hours or 3 hours. More than that we need a power connection. So but mobile it's not like that. So how to modify that OS so that it can work in Android mobiles without so much power consumption, so that we require less power, but lifetime of that power should be more. So some changes are not only this, like this we have to modify more and more features to become its successful OS in a mobile. So that's the basic version of this Android. So they have modified from the Linux so that it can be used in Android itself. Initially it was introduced by Android Incorporations, but later Google acquired it. Finally, now it's under OHA. OHA means Open Handset Alliance. So it's a consortium of 84 companies such as big giants like Google, Samsung, and AK and Synaptics, something like that. So they have formed an OHA, Open Handset Alliance. So to form some regulations, so how it should be, how it should not be, everything. The language used for Android application development is, initially it was only Java, but recent times Kotlin they announced Kotlin as a official language, officially supported language for Android application development. So we can so Java is not completely removed, but most recent versions updates support is provided only for Kotlin. But Java is still there. We cannot completely remove Java from Android. Since most of the native libraries, some of the important functions, base setups, everything is in Java. Even though we have some code in Kotlin, some code is converted into Java and then for execution. So Java plays an important role in application development, mobile application, Android application development. So coming to the history of Android, so Andy Rubin is the one who founded Android Incorporations. which Android was initially formed in California, United States in October 2003. Key employees along with that Andy Rubin are Rich Miner and Chris White and Nick Sears. Android is intended for camera. Since we have digital cameras, olden day camera, they have tried to modify and make the cameras smart cameras. But later part, it evolved as a smartphone, not only camera, but it has multiple features as we saw in our Android mobiles. Android is a name derived from Andy Rubin. That Android name is derived from that Andy Rubin, given by co-workers because of his love for that robot. So they have made Android. In 2005, Google completely acquired Android, and then in 2007, it later moved to OHA. In 2008, HTC first launched Android mobile. That's the first version of Android. So Android, till now we have Android 12 version up to Android 12. So initially they started with alpha, beta, and then they moved with the cupcake, donut, like that. They are given the names alphabetically up to Nougat, Marshmallow, Oreo, and then later they moved to Android 10, 11, 12. So to avoid confusions between those names, usually they'll give us sweet names like donut, cupcake, eclairs, froyo. And from the Android 10 version, to avoid the confusions, they started naming from Android version 10, 11, 12. The latest version is Android 12. And then features of Android. So it's a important feature. First one is open source. So what is open source? So whatever the code they have written for this Android, it's completely available for anyone to change, modify, update anything, whatever they want. So if you have if you know to modify the source code, you're completely okay to modify the source code. So whoever want, they can customize Android platform according to you. So if you see, say example Windows, you have some Lenovo laptop or HP or whatever you may be Dell. But Windows, if you see that Windows functions, buttons, everything is same in all laptops. There won't be any difference based on that company like Dell, Lenovo, or HP. But in Android, if you see, if you take Redmi, user experience will be completely different from Lenovo or Samsung. So how that can be possible? Since base OS is Android and code is open source, the smartphone making company can change the OS according to their wish. So it's because of that open source feature. So because of that open source feature, Lenovo can make changes according to their wish and they can publish their own version. So Redmi can make their own changes and release their own version. So that's one important feature of this open source. Anyone can customize the Android platforms. And in Android, there are a lot of features today, like weather details. We can there are lots of sensors available in Android, so we can get that important details like weather details, GPS tracking. So everything can be done in Android mobile. For connectivity, to connect from one device to another device or connect to some sensors, some other devices, we have GSM, CDMA like 2G, 3G, 4G, and NFC for Wi-Fi, data transfer, Bluetooth, everything we have for data transfer or telephone or to make calls. It also allows you to make calls and sending SMS to retrieve data from different mobiles or different networks. And then it's one of the important features is this WebKit, integrated open source WebKit. This is basically to view the HTML and CSS as a web view in Android device, so that we can render whatever web content we have in HTML or CSS. So that's obviously the basic thing which we see in web pages, HTML and CSS. So whatever language like React or something we write, it will convert it into HTML and CSS. So to view that file HTML and CSS code, we have integrated WebKit layout based web browser. And then it's a multitasking. So example, you are using WhatsApp in one tab and switching to Insta or Facebook in another tab. So how it works? It's same like Windows or some other OS. We have multitasking. So that different tasks run in different places, so that we can run multiple applications simultaneously. That's based on that. How it's based on RAM storage. We have initially we have less number of storage, but currently we have lots of storage, so we can have multiple tabs simultaneously. As we already saw, we can also access hardware components like camera, GPS, accelerometer, and many more sensors to track our. Even we have tools to track our heartbeat or usage, sleep rate. So we can integrate with any hardware components or sensors which is inbuilt. And one important feature is multi-language support. So even we can customize our localization, our language settings, like we can convert into our convenient language. So that's one of the important feature. And external storage. So storage, come to storage, we have lots of data to store. So say example, you have some files to download from WhatsApp. So whatever files you have some external storage and both internal storage. So nowadays we have lots of internal storage, so there is less need for external storage. Initially, the initial days internal storage are very less. So they provided support for some external storage. We can connect memory card to Android device and store whatever data we need in that external device. And we have multiple APIs to support location-based services such as GPS. So not only GPS, so API is a basic thing to bridge between this hardware devices and our Android OS. So we have multiple APIs like this to smooth transaction between hardware devices and our software. And it supports multiple formats like so video formats, image formats. So we have lots of formats. So most of the formats should be supported if you have corresponding apps or device or softwares. And apart from that, we have video calling features, screen capture feature. That's additional features. So coming to Android categories, so we have lots and lots of mobile application in Google Play Store. So if we categorize those applications, it will come under mostly this 8 categories. So entertainment, tools, communications, personalization, and some more. We can classify whatever app we have into this category. Say example, if we take WhatsApp, Instagram, or Snapchat, it will come under social. And then media and audio video players, something like Google Play and Bing Music. So those will come under music and videos. So whatever the app we use, it will come under any one of this category. So these are the basic categories of the Android. Coming to conclusion, so what's the one best thing and one worst thing in Android? So best thing is customization. That as we already saw, we can customize like how we want. So if I don't like this feature, if I don't like this screen theme, I can go away and change it however I want. That's one best thing, customization. Since it's open source, we can modify whatever we need. And one worst thing is getting updates. So this is one of the major drawback since Android started. So why it's a basic thing, getting update and getting patches are good, but why we are telling worst thing is, we have two perspective, one from a developer perspective, one from user perspective. So first from user perspective, so example, you are buying a new phone. Today Android version is latest version is, say example, Android 10. So example, in 6 months Android release another one version, Android 11. In again 6 months Android is releasing another one version, Android 12. So in within a 1 year there are two major releases, two major OS releases. So what developer will do while developing apps, they'll start supporting latest versions, example Android 12. If in that case they are developing some version, so some features that will support only from Android 11 and 12. So your version is Android 10, but since even though it's just 1 year, you can't use this basic latest features of that mobile. So again, you have to buy a new device, or if that device supports Android 12, it's okay. If not, you have to buy a new phone to utilize those latest features. This is a user perspective. And developer perspective, you have to if they are releasing one feature for Android 12, and they are say example storage. If we take storage example, we have different implementation for storage. Before Marshmallow, we have something else for the storage, and after Marshmallow, we have completely different storage. They introduce a concept called scoped storage to make use of that. To incorporate that, we have to develop a new version, release a new version, and we should also have backward compatibility. We should not lose our old users, but also we should have support new users. So that's one what's thing as a developer perspective. So whenever Android releases new version, we have also developed a new version to support that new features and to make new users of that new version compatible. So that's a one worst thing. So this is a basic brief introduction about Android. In next video, we'll start with the environment setup and how and where to start with Android application development, and which ID we should use and how to see that Android application. Everything will start from the next video. Thank you.